What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to of course be talking about with you guys. In today's video, what I actually wanted to talk about is the recent reports going around with John Wall that actually states that there are no plans for John Wall to play this season with the Houston Rockets, and it's becoming increasingly likely that Wall will not land with another team, and this is all being reported by Woj. So today I thought, well, why not, just trade him at this point? Or why not just make a video and talk about, who they should potentially trade him to, what the whole situation will maybe look like going forward with the Houston Rockets team, and are there going to be any teams that will actually maybe trade for him? Again, I've spoken about this a lot, but there is one team who I thought would have actually been perfect for the Houston, Rockets to trade him to, and the Rockets could actually get back in a player who I not only think would be absolutely perfect for this team, but would also not exactly be, really out of the price range to maybe get, if you're a Houston Rockets fan. And the player I'm going to say might raise some eyebrows, and you guys might get angry at me. And look, I'm not exactly that much of a fan of this player anymore either, but I believe the Houston Rockets should actually trade for Ben Simmons, and they should trade John Wall a part of this deal. Now, you might have been like, well, why would they trade for Ben Simmons? He makes absolutely no sense. But hey, yes, all of those things are true. But also, I feel like the Houston Rockets and Philadelphia 76ers, both of these players make sense for both teams. Now, when it comes to the Houston Rockets and trading for Ben Simmons, I actually don't think there is a more perfect player potentially in the league to, of course, trade for than Ben Simmons. And you might be asking me to elaborate, and I will. The reason why I think he's actually perfect for that team is they really don't have a power forward, and one of the big things they extremely lack right now is their defense. Their defense is absolutely terrible. It is shocking. Christian Wood at center, I really like Christian Wood. I think he's a really good player, but he's not a good defender. That is a sure thing. He's also undersized at that center position. Then you look at Kevin Porter Jr., who I thought had a chance to be a really good defender in the league. He has been so bad this season. I mean, to average 12.5 points per game, 5 assists, and nearly 4.5 turnovers on 36% field goal percentage with bad defense, that is just, it's pretty bad. And I think Kevin Porter Jr. will definitely improve. I think people just have to give him time in this league. But I'm not exactly too sure if Kevin Porter Jr. is a point guard, material type player. But he also improves from bringing in Ben Simmons. Again, Jalen Green is not really a great defender yet. And I think, Daniel Tice, he's not a good defender at that power forward position. He has defense issues sometimes. Again, when he was on the Celtics, he was playing some small ball 5. He was averaging a lot of blocks, but that didn't necessarily mean he was a great defender. This year, he is averaging half a block per game, but I'm still lacking on. I still don't know about his defense. And Deshaun Tate can definitely be a good defender here and there. He's probably really the main one in their starting five that can be a good defender. But then when we continuously look at this, the points that I've just mentioned, terrible defense. I think they need a playmaker and they need a power forward. Ben Simmons can provide all three of them. Basically, what would happen is Ben Simmons would come into the team, guard the power forward position. People forget he was second in Defensive Player of the Year last year. Look, I don't care what you say about him offensively, but he's still one of the best defenders in the league. And some would argue he is the best defender in the league, and he was first at one stage last year in Defensive, Player of the League rankings. Not just that, he is still a terrific playmaker. What you say about his playmaking, it really doesn't matter because he is an elite playmaker, and he's proven that countless of times. Which means basically what would happen is he'd come into the 4 position, which they really, really need. He'd play that power forward. Then he would, of course, ball handle, take the ball away from Kevin Porter Jr. at times, meaning Kevin Porter Jr. can stop turning the ball over, maybe get some confidence in himself, while still being able to guard the point guard position. And then Ben Simmons as well brings in that elite defense to the power forward position. The only issue that Ben Simmons creates for this Rockets team is maybe the floor spacing. But then I think Christian Wood also benefits from Ben Simmons as he gets a guy who can really help out on the rebounding and can also help out with the interior defense. And the thing is, he works terrifically with Ben Simmons because he won't be in the paint all the time to stop Simmons from driving. Basically, Simmons does need his floor spaces. We all know this. He's not a shooter. So basically then Christian Wood would be much more pivotal from that three-point line, which would really help out. Then you still have Jalen Green, who's a fantastic shooter. Kevin Porter Jr., who's, yeah, he could be alright. He's not that good at the moment, but I definitely think he can pick it up. And then you got, of course, I think they're small forward. They'll definitely be looking to sign a dude like Kevin Huerter or something in free agency to bring in that floor spacing. Then you're looking at a pretty solid team, especially if they draft a really nice player. Not just that, to get Ben Simmons, they have like 4 picks from Brooklyn, and because, of course, Philadelphia, for some reason, want a near all-star player and like 3 first-round picks, you can basically just say, hey, Philly, we'll give you John Wall, a near all-star player, and we'll give you like 3 future first-round picks. And hey, Brooklyn are a pretty good team, so those picks really won't be that much and really not that good. So, again, you can definitely afford to lose them, and you bring in a really young power forward who fits the timeline of the team, brings in great defense, a great playmaker, and I promise you right now, will completely change the team of Houston. Of course, I'm not saying he's a good shooter, I'm not saying he's a good guy or anything like that, but I think he helps out a lot. I think he pushes the team to bring in a three-point shooter. They'll probably bring in a new coach eventually here and there. And you really not only bring in Ben Simmons, because you bring in a three-point shooter like Kevin Huerter or someone like that, and then you probably draft another dude in, the draft that can come in. Maybe they draft a guard that can help out, and then it looks to be a really, really good team if you ask me. Then if we look at the Philadelphia 76ers side of things, they improve from this as well, because they get rid of a dude that's not playing on their team, bring in a couple late first-round picks, which they can use to trade away to bring in maybe some better role players or maybe try and go for another star. And they bring in a dude like John Wall, who is on, I believe, an expiring contract. So they bring in him, who's a really nice shot creator, which they have really needed for a couple years. They've really needed a shot creator. He's an elite shot creator that can still play make, not the worst defender in the world. And again, he can definitely, play with Tyrese Maxey. I feel like both of them could work well together. I think Maxey would come off the bench, but could definitely play some big minutes for John Wall here and there. It would be a really nice team as well. And I think, honestly, if Philadelphia were to create a starting 5 of John Wall at point, Danny Green at the 3, Seth Curry at the 2, Tobias at the 4, Joel Embiid at the 5, then off the bench, you got arguably the strongest bench in the league. Then you got Tyrese Maxey, George Yang, Andre Drummond. The list goes on. That team would be absolutely elite. And again, could definitely take the East, really. I think I really like this move. I don't see why they wouldn't do it. But then again, if you're Houston, not only do you get rid of a player as well who's not playing on your team, but you bring in a 4 that will make your team way better defensively. He helps out with Christian Wood because he helps out with the interior defense. He helps out with Kevin Porter Jr. because he takes the ball off him and makes Porter Jr. not turn the ball over so much, gets him some more confidence. And again, that playmaking it improves so much. And then, of course, I think another shooter. There's really no reason players will come to Houston at the moment in free agency. But if a player was to see if Ben Simmons was on the team, there are still players in the league that would like to play with him. And a player like, Kevin Huerter right now, who will be looking for around $15 million per year, that probably won't be re-signed by the Hawks if he wants that much. He'd definitely be looking to play on a team like this. Then you're looking at a really exciting team that could be really good next year. So again, I really like this. I definitely would really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channels if you haven't already. I'll all be linking them in the description down below. Just let me know, what are your thoughts and opinions on Ben Simmons, kind of the whole situation. Should the Rockets trade for him? Should the Philadelphia 76ers trade for John Wall? Of course, I would definitely really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But as I say, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.